The Boys Season 5 has officially ended, and if I'm honest, finally, am I right? There was once a time where The Boys was one of the most fresh and exciting superhero projects out there, but these last two seasons have just been kinda lame. And it's not even like I'm gonna cry myself to sleep every night thinking about it kinda bad. No, for that to happen, it would actually need to be interesting. And it's not. It's more like a long, drawn-out, wet fart of an ending to what's been a pretty good show overall. I've been seeing a lot of people out there criticizing the season for what it wasn't, rather than what it was. And I feel like that's a bit of a mistake, because what it is pretty underwhelming. Perhaps the most obvious flaw of The Boys Season 5 is that somehow the show feels way smaller than it ever has before. And whether the writers like it or not, the show has been setting up its ending to be very large in scale. Butcher and Homelander have basically done everything except look directly in the camera every single season and promise that the show's ending is going to be big, that they're going to fight to the death over scorched earth, shock and awe, blood and bone. So obviously the audience is going to expect this promise to come true in all of its glory. If you promise me scorched earth, I'm gonna expect scorched earth. But instead of seeing political collapse, anarchy, and chaos, we spend 7 episodes on the concept of an apocalypse, then a bar fight in the Oval Office, and whoops, would you look at that, the show's over, great. And the thing is, they have the right idea for an escalation with Homelander now fully believing he's a god, but they hesitate to truly take that idea to its most dramatic peak, and a lot of it is left unexplored. It's funny and absurd, and it feels like the natural endpoint for his character, but even then, we're only ever told about what will happen and what he will do, without ever really seeing many consequences. And whenever we do see the consequences, it's not treated like it's a very big deal. The entire season just keeps avoiding spectacle like it's allergic to it or something. But sure, if you don't want the fireworks, then don't have the damn fireworks, I don't care, this isn't Marvel, but it does need to feel like the most important season of the show, and it just doesn't. And yes, I know this is a satire, but that doesn't mean you get to be boring. As for the pacing, oh boy, this season just loves to take its sweet ass time as if it's a 16 episode season instead of 8. Because if I'm honest, that one scene with Homelander in the White House where he just casually ices the president, by the way, and nothing comes from it, I was expecting to see that scene in episode 1. It happens in episode 7. How? Instead, we spend most of this final season focusing on Homelander chasing this goofy MacGuffin from not this show, by the way, while all the other characters try desperately to make sure it doesn't fall in Homelander's hands, otherwise the world is doomed. Only for it to fall in Homelander's hands because it's what Clara would have wanted, and then it doesn't even matter because nothing changes when Homelander gets his hands on it. Homelander doesn't become more dangerous, he doesn't feel any more powerful, if anything he only feels weaker, and he doesn't really do anything that he wouldn't have just done before. So why did we spend the whole season having him chase it? It's like if in Infinity War, Thanos finally got all the stones and the whole Infinity Gauntlet and then just did not really anything. That's pretty much what happens here.
I lost something once. I lost something I couldn't live without. My identity.
Losing your identity is something that's pretty common for TV shows nowadays, I guess. I wonder why, I wonder why that's so common. Why do they always lose their identity? I can't figure it out. The entire original appeal of The Boys was quite literally spawned out of superhero fatigue. It was the antidote. It was like, are you sick and tired of all these safe, lame, corporate superhero stories? Well then come on over to The Boys. Cause over here, we have sex, and we say potty words, innocent people blow up, and all of our superheroes are treated like celebrity gods with corporate PR teams, even though they're a bunch of freaky weirdos. And we were like, But now, it kinda just feels like they've become the very thing they were parodying in the first place. If you want a perfect example of how much the show has changed, look at the Flight 37 scene in Season 1. That scene is pretty much the entire identity of the boys captured into one nightmarish scene. The recording of the incident is a plotline that hangs over the rest of the series, like this imminent public doomsday for Homelander. And in season 5, the video comes out, and then is just immediately dismissed as AI generated. Nothing comes out of it, it's just a throwaway AI joke, that's all. Which, I mean, at least it's funny, so I'm not as mad about it as I would be, but like, really dude? That's the problem with the satire this season. The ideas are good, but the show develops this habit of using the satire to shrink the drama instead of enhancing it. They also like to spend 90% of the time pointing at something and going, hey look, it's like real life. Isn't this so much like real life? Look how much like real life it is. And I'm like, yes, you're correct. That is like real life. Very good. Now can I please see some consequences? Thank you. And they say, no. Dramatically, one of the best parts of The Boys was the extreme power imbalances between the characters that made it so intense. The fact that the villain was so much stronger than everyone else was gold. All Homelander had to do was laugh for a little too long and you were pissing your pants. But somehow season 1 through 3 have more tension built up from episode to episode than the Scorched Earth season does. The Boys used to be able to make small scenes feel apocalyptic, while season 5 makes quote-unquote apocalyptic scenes feel weirdly small. And I think a big reason for that is the characters themselves. Those are kinda important, because danger itself isn't tension. Danger aimed at people I care about is tension. Homelander used to be terrifying because he could kill Huey, Butcher, MM, Starlight, Kimiko, or Frenchie at any second, and I really, genuinely didn't want him to. But this season, I just didn't care, man. And maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just some heartless monster, but it didn't always used to feel that way. I used to be genuinely terrified for Huey, and praying that he made it out alive. The Boys themselves used to be my favorite part of The Boys. But now, every time they come on screen, it's like every single human emotion that I had just evaporates from my body. I do want to shout out Butcher though, a character so good you can't screw him up, and they don't. I actually think they do him pretty well this season. I do feel like in the finale when he goes from, "Oi, we killed the Homelander," to now I'm going to unalive every single soup on the planet because my dog died and Ryan doesn't want anything to do with me, it was a bit abrupt, but honestly, he's so real for that. And when he's dying out and he tells Huey,
"You really are a spitter, Lenny,"
I finally felt something. Even the littlest bit, I felt something. See? I can be positive. Just kidding, because the rest of the characters also aren't very good. Let's start with Soldier Boy, who has a spinoff coming. Watch Soldier Boy spinoff. Have you watched a spinoff? Yeah, you better watch a spinoff. It's gonna come out. It's gonna be the greatest spinoff of all time. You better watch it right now. Right now. Why haven't you watched it yet? Here you go, Homelander, my son. V1 just for you. Ha! Just kidding, you asexual, toe-licking, weirdo, milk-gargling creep, ball sack munching. No, but seriously, here it is. Ha! Just kidding again. No, but for real this time, you can have it because this is what Clary would have wanted. Now I'm gonna go piss off, because if you haven't heard yet, I have a spin-off show coming. Oh no, what's happening? Oh no, now I'm back in the fridge again. Okay, anyways, bye! Siege is one character I want to talk about because I do like genius characters, but this might be the most useless genius character I have ever seen. The smartest person in the world, allegedly, is very narratively loud. So when you just drop them in the middle of your show, you have to be fully prepared to justify their presence, and they never do. And then there's a big, not so scary H. Anthony Starr is absolutely phenomenal as Homelander, as always. I swear this guy has to have a PhD in face acting or something. It will forever remain one of the best portrayals of any comic book character ever. But even Homelander isn't invincible to writing mishaps, mainly from the fact that he just doesn't really do enough this season. He probably causes less destruction in this season than any of the first 4. During the Scorched Earth season, by the way, which is kind of insane. This is supposed to be the season where Homelander is fully unleashed, but instead he feels kind of nerfed in this one. The Deep is great, no notes. And listen, I have to mention the dialogue, alright? I don't like to criticize dialogue, it's hard. I am no dialogue genius myself. I don't know nearly enough to give a deep analysis on the technical precision of words coming out of faces, but I do have enough ears to be able to say that this sounds terrible, dude. What are we doing here?
Wait, you've known where the guys are this whole time? That makes me feel angry and want to tit slap you.
And listen, man, I can go for a good ballsack joke every once in a while, especially when it's the big funny, you know? But it's never funny in this season. They only ever serve to substitute actual dialogue. And anytime they do write dialogue with substance, it comes in the form of 15 monologues per episode. And yes, monologues are awesome. I am giving you one right now. But when every single dramatic quote-unquote scene is just a character giving this super surface level, tensionless speech, talking in circles, it's just like, I get it! And you can try to say TikTok brain, but this brain can't be talked. I love me a good yap, but these yaps feel less like character writing and more like attempts to try to get me to feel something they didn't earn. But the joke's on them, because I already died inside like 4 episodes ago. As for the finale itself, it did its job. It was probably the best it can be given the season that preceded it, but that still doesn't mean that it was that good. I don't care about all the irrelevant plot lines that weren't wrapped up because those are fake complaints and I don't make fake complaints. The actual death scene of Homelander was done pretty much perfectly. Homelander pathetically and desperately pleading for his life as Butcher menacingly walks towards him as he says, "I'll do anything, I'll show you that I'll do anything," before getting slammed out by the crowbar was both funny and a perfect end to his character. Wait. Okay, fine. Penis equals funny. This one time it's funny. Fine. That was a good line. Did you have to kill the dog though? Like really, -2 points for killing the dog. Not cool. The real problem I have is with the epilogue. It low-key kind of reminded me of the Stranger Things ending again, which is absolutely incredible because those two shows share almost nothing in common. So how in the hell does that happen? Happy ever after ass ending. The real The Boys was the friends we made along the way ass ending. No sauce. For a show this cynical, violent, subversive, the ending was remarkably clean and extremely normal for an ending to a superhero show. Go figure. But yes, I know, endings are hard, and this is not a complete disaster that ruins the rest of the show, it's just a very unexciting ending to what was previously an exciting story. It's a disappointing season with the concepts of a much bigger story, but decides to stay small for some reason that I will never understand. It feels less like the end of a 5-season story and more like the first half of a double season that forgot to include its side B. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. Yeah, 5. I think that's fair. One more thing. Please stop saying this is as bad as Game of Thrones. Like, seriously. It's not even close. It's not even a comparison. Please stop. How dare you?